Hello traders, Gary Wagner here just before 10 o'clock in Honolulu, actually 9:40. It is before 3 o'clock in New York, Monday, last day of November 2015, and this is the Daily Report for Gold and Silver. We have a nice upside bounce in the precious metals markets after taking us to 6-year lows on Friday, currently trading at 1066.55, puts it up roughly $8-9 on the day with the low 53 and a high 69.73. But I first want to discuss the conditional trade alert that we sent out on Friday. That, of course, had criteria, and the primary criteria on that, if you recall, although I said it was unlikely, the unlikely came true, and that was if the market traded higher today. In other words, the conditional sell signal that we sent out would be based upon the market breaking these lows here just below 60. Of course, the market closed, 53, somewhere in that area. And we would have had to have follow-through selling on Monday morning. That is what I put out. And I said within Friday's report that although unlikely, if we saw some kind of rally developing in the market, that would negate the call. Now, why is that? The primary reason for that is that what we have noticed is that within the marketplace, we have seen this market make a series of lower lows and then pop back up. And really, to illustrate that, let me go ahead and pull up a daily chart. And actually, a weekly chart will work best for this illustration. So I've gone ahead and pulled that up. And here's what I'm talking about. You have a lower low. This is the beginning of 2014. Market comes down and tests a low roughly of, call it 1090 in that area. From 1090, we do get a nice rally that comes in, but we then come down and make a lower low on the marketplace itself. This coming in October of 2014. Now, when it comes back up, it does not make a higher high. It actually makes a lower high, but it also makes a higher low compared to this low here when we compare it to here. Same as we saw right in here. In other words, we made a low, we had a rally, and then the following low that came in would be a higher low, but we'd also get a higher high and a compression of range. So we saw that again here with a higher low and a higher high. Market comes down, makes a new low once again, and we get that rally that comes in. And from that rally, we see the market come down and make a lower low. What that tells me is that we will now get a rally within this market. This, of course, again, this is a weekly chart, but that rally, if in fact we're following the same kind of pattern that we have seen in the marketplace, this rally will take us to a lower high than this previous high, and then we'll get some sort of a low that comes in, but that low is going to be above this. So we're going to get, at this point, a market that trends higher. The high itself is going to be lower than this low here, which comes in, call it 1091. I believe that's what it was. And so as this market comes in, we will see a lower high, but we will also see a higher low, and then that will take the market up a little bit, and then we'll come down and make a lower low again. So what I believe we're going to see within this market is some sort of rally at this point. I'm going to be calculating over the next couple of days where I think this rally might take us, and I'll do that based upon the kind of interim rallies that we saw. But here's the thing, these interim rallies don't seem to have a lot of strength in them, and if anything, they tend to kind of peter out, so to speak. They kind of diminish very, very quickly. You can see that here. You can also see that here when you get that. And then, of course, this high here, of course, is lower than this one. So we're getting our series of lower highs, but in between those lower highs, we're getting this compression in which we have a higher low and a lower high. And then we go down and we make a new low. Come back up again. We have a lower high and a higher low. We come back down and we make that lower low. So now we've come in, we've made a lower high, but we have made a lower low here. And I am thinking, as I said, that we're going to make some sort of a lower high, and then I believe we'll probably see at that point some sort of a lower low. So what I believe we're probably going to see within this marketplace is a short rally of duration and short rally in terms of the price move or the amount that we see this market move up from these most recent lows. So assuming that we actually do continue this way, in other words, we're not looking at a one-day move. Again, I'm looking at a weekly chart, but on this chart, I've created one fib retracement from this most recent high at 1191, and it goes down to these lows at roughly 1050. And when we do that, we'll get our various fib levels. And the ones that we obviously want to look at are going to be these levels right here. First of all, we have one at 1080 and then another one at 1103. So we'll have to see how this market develops if we get a strong rally here. But as I said, based upon the basic pattern that we have seen this market trade in, we should get some sort of a lower high here. We could then get a lower low, but I think that at that point we'll go down and get a lower low. This has been Gary Wagner, wishing you as always good trading. We'll talk to you tomorrow for another daily update and review. Bye-bye.